So welcome along to A Story to Tell with me, Richard Beauvoisin. This is mainly taken from my Radio Bath show every Thursday morning from 10 until 12. If you do like it, don't forget to subscribe, share it to others and let everyone know all about Radio Bath. Hope you enjoy it. Good morning, everybody. So it's Richard Beauvoisin here right until midday today on A Story to Tell. Hope you had a good week. Mine's been good. Just thinking about what my week was then. So my guest today is Laura Ansbro. As I said, chatting to Gerald, she is a very special editor, and that reason is because she's my editor. So we're going to be chatting quite a lot to her over the next 2 hours. If you do have any questions for Laura about editing in any way, shape or form, then you can text Bath followed by a message to 80011, or you can email studio@radiobath.com. Love dancing to that track. There's Teddy Swims and Lose Control. Good morning, everybody. So it's a story to tell time. We rabbit on for about an hour and 15 minutes in these next 2 hours. I hope you enjoy it. Laura, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
Very well, thank you.
Good, good, good. You've got your cup of tea. Now, big question is always, when I make people a cup of tea, I always like to know, how is the cup of tea?
Excellent. Very good.
Is it all right?
Yeah, it's just the right strength, just the right amount of milk. Lovely, thank you.
So do you have a particular way in which you make tea if you're making it yourself?
Well, if I make it myself, I make it in a pot.
Are you a pot person?
I am a pot person, and until recently I was a loose leaf, very posh loose leaf pot person. Yeah.
What made you change?
Loose leaves are really expensive.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and so I thought I'm going to economise and go back to tea bags.
Yeah.
Sad times.
Have you noticed a difference?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I might buy some loose leaf.
Oh, yeah. Well, Christmas is coming up, and I have treated myself to a tin of Fortnum & Mason's Christmas tea, which is my annual treat, and that is great big loose leaves with other lovely spices and things in.
The loose leaves, I've mentioned this story many times on the show about the fact that I went to Sri Lanka a long time ago.
Yeah.
And went to a tea plantation, and there were 7 layers of conveyor belts, and basically the lower the conveyor belt down each floor, the lesser the tea.
Yeah.
And PG tips and stuff is the scrapings off the floor.
Yeah, you want the top ones. They're the nice ones.
I had one of those cups of tea, and it was unbelievable.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, it was just like literally fresh off the fields.
Yeah.
It makes me want to drink tea again.
I know.
However, I am drinking coffee, but there we go. You chose that track. Why did you choose that track?
I love dancing to it. It's a lovely dance floor track.
It is a lovely dance floor track, isn't it? Now, I know you from dancing initially.
Yeah.
Which is lovely. We're going to chat about your dance journey a bit later, but you're here today as an editor.
I am.
As what you do as an editor. Now, I've got your quick Desert Island Discs.
Okay.
Now, I'll be honest with you, I do type into good old Chatty, write me a Desert Island Discs intro sometimes. And I did the same for you, and it came up, we were just checking off air, and it came up with a load of gobbledygook that wasn't you.
Yeah.
So I've literally just very quickly asked it to redo it. So let's
see if it's
see
got
what
it
it
right
says.
this time.
Let's see what it says. Okay, so you can analyse this and see how accurate AI is.
Yeah.
We're going to be chatting more about AI a bit later. So it says, today on the show is the editor who bravely took on my book, keeps writers honest, and quietly shapes the stories the rest of us enjoy. She's a lover of words, a fixer of wandering commas, and away from the desk, a dancer with her own journey to tell.
That's not too bad.
That's all right.
I mean, it's quite, it's very generic AI. It's not what I would write about myself.
Is it
but,
not?
It's all right.
It is all right, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good starting point.
It's not... I'll be honest with you, the one I have here printed out is much better, but completely wrong.
Yeah.
And that's a downside to AI. But again, we'll come on to that a little bit later. If you do have any questions for Laura, then do text Bath followed by a message to 80011 or email studio@radiobath.com. We're here right until midday today. But first of all, Laura, I want to know a little bit more about you. Now, we've known each other for a few years now, really, isn't it? But as always, I actually don't really know most people because on the dance floor, we chat, we say hi, and then you have a dance, and then you say bye.
Yes.
That's kind of mostly where you get to.
Yeah.
We've chatted about my book a number of times, but I don't know a huge amount about you. So how did you get to where you are today, then?
Well, I was in marketing for 10 years. I worked in the housewares industry and did all kinds of marketing, everything from deciding what products we were going to launch to making offers and posters to put up in the shops, that kind of thing. And when I decided to go self-employed, I thought, well, I'll do the bit of marketing that I actually really like, which is the writing part. And now as that has evolved, I've been self-employed for 7-8 years now. As that's evolved, I'm now moving more towards the editing side of things, partly because of AI doing a lot of the initial drafting. There isn't so much room for writers at the moment, and what they need is editors to make AI sound good.
I mean, I was reading today about AI and editing and, whether, novelists are going to be around, because basically you can just type into AI, create this story, and it does a fairly decent job. It's not a great job, but it's a fairly decent job. And a lot of novelists are saying a lot of their work has been ripped off already.
Absolutely, because you can ask it to write in the style of a novelist and it will come up with something reasonable.
I actually did this.
Did you?
I did. Because my book has been, we're talking naturally about my book as it goes on. But I use it for kind of like a first draft, see what's the flow like and all of these different bits and pieces before it gets to yourself, because, and we'll talk about that a bit more later. But it was like, I thought, I wonder if I ask it to write. So one of my good friends is Eddie the Eagle.
Yeah.
He's a really good friend of mine. I'd say he's one of my best few friends. And at some point I might write his book.
Oh, wow.
And I thought it'd be an interesting project to say to it, I would like... Can you write in my style a chapter about his time on the TV programme Splash?
Okay.
And that's all I asked it to do. And you know what? It was about 3 or 4 pages. It was pretty good.
There we are.
It was all right.
There we are.
It wasn't brilliant. It wasn't great. But you know what? For most people, it would be pretty good.
Yeah.
So yeah. So going back to, you said very quickly, so you obviously love words and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm awful at words.
You're not awful at words.
Well, when I say awful at words, so my daughter, who's nearly 10 now, she comes back and she talks about all the different verbs that there are and all the different nouns, and I'm like going, I have no idea what she's talking about. What were you like at English at school then?
Well, I loved English at school. My son is about the same age as your daughter, and he talks about fronted adverbials and noun phrases. I have no idea what any of that is.
Okay.
No idea at all. And most people will tell you that the only people who care about that are professors of linguistics at university. Right. So you don't need any of that to be a writer. You just need to be able to use words.
Yeah. I mean, I always find this, I won't say who it is, but somebody that I knew for some time that I don't know quite so well anymore.
Okay.
Not saying who it is, might be an ex-wife, but let's go down that. Let's just imagine it's not.
Okay.
Whenever I chat to that particular person, they always try and use really big words because they know it flummoxes me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I'm there going, I don't know what half the sentences you've been talking about. But I don't look at them and think, wow, you're so clever for using all these big words. I think, what are you trying to hide by using all these big words?
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Because sometimes, companies will do this as well. They will use really big, long words. If I'm trying to buy something really boring like a laptop or a phone, it's the descriptions are filled with big words that I don't understand and I'm supposed to be impressed by, but I don't know whether to be impressed by them or not, because I don't know if they're suitable for me because I don't understand them.
No.
And that's the thing, is trying to get the message across clearly. That's the most important thing.
And I'm guessing that's what you tend to do as an editor.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's your kind of principle regarding editing? How do you kind of look at it and go, I've got my piece of work here, kind of what's your first thing that you look at?
The first thing I look at is, does it grab my attention and does it make sense? Okay. So I'm looking at it as a reader and it's making me think, do I want to carry on reading this? Is there something that's not quite clear? There might be a sort of half mention of something and I want it to be expanded upon a bit more, and then to sort of, having looked at it as a reader, think, well, as an editor, which bit is it that needs drawing out? Do we need to build some suspense? And I think we've had this when we've been working on your book. If you're setting a scene, if you're telling an anecdote about something from your past, let's set the scene a bit more. Let's let the reader picture the environment that you were in. So you've got a story about going to an awards dinner. Let's talk about the round tables and everybody dressed swankily and that sort of thing, so that people can really imagine what you're describing. Rather than I was at an awards dinner. Yeah, exactly. Because not everybody's been to one. No, that's very true. And I've not been to enough. Because I don't get given many awards. Oh, I know. This is sad. Maybe you could put a shout out on the radio to see if somebody could nominate you. Well, we had our Bath Charity Awards recently, of which I didn't get nominated for. So there we go.
moving swiftly on. Now, you said you kind of had a normal job and then you went to be self-employed.
Yes.
How was that transition for you?
Well, do you know what? It was actually less frightening than I thought it would be. I was listening to your interview with lovely Sarah Whedon the other day, and she was talking about how she thought being self-employed would be terrifying, and I had always had exactly the same view. I like that regularity of the monthly salary coming in to pay the mortgage, but I'd actually given up work to have a baby, and so I'd been out of the workplace for a couple of years, and so I did a course, a comprehensive creative writing course while I was on maternity leave, to build up my skills. And one of the things it talked through was actually how easy it is to start your own business, particularly if you're just going, well, I don't need to set up a big company or something. All I'm doing is doing a piece of work, sending out an invoice, which you can just do in Excel and print it out, and then somebody's paying me into my bank account. And actually, that's a really soft start to being self-employed, and it's not scary at all. No. And it just grew from there.
Oh, fabulous. Now, we're going to find out lots more about your editing process and all of those different bits and pieces. But you've now chosen the next track. So this is On Top of the World by Imagine Dragons. Why this one?
Because it's really cheerful, and that's how I like to spend my life, being cheerful.
Oh, that sounds lovely. Back with Laura right after this. Back for the next part now with Laura Ansbro. It's Richard Beauvoisin here until midday today. She's an editor, and more importantly, my editor.
I am.
She's a scary person. She really is a scary person. Now, we've just kind of got to the point where you've become self-employed and you've decided you can send invoices and get money back and stuff. How is it kind of developing your editing business then?
It's brilliant. Because I started out in marketing, I used to work a lot with PRs and marketers. I used to work with PRs, and my words would end up being the ones that they would use in their press releases, and the journalists would then copy and paste. And so I was really in that world of having my words out there in the world. And I've completely forgotten the question. You're going to have to tell me.
No, that's okay. I love the world of, the world that I live in as well, is that I start talking and then I drift off somewhere else sometimes, and that's fine.
This
and
is
then
why I'm better on paper.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're doing very well so far.
Thanks.
You're all good. So the question was, how did you develop your business?
Oh, how did I develop it? Oh, yeah. So really, because I've worked with marketers and PRs in the past, those are the people who I tend to work with quite a lot, because they know they have a strategy around what they want to provide for their clients, and they may love writing or they may hate writing, but either way they don't have time for it because they're busy with a strategy, they're busy schmoozing those journalists, and so I work with them to help their clients get the results that they want, so to get the message about their businesses out there, which has been really, really nice. I do lots of blog posts, case studies, articles, that kind of thing.
Now, I was going to ask you about blog posts, because what was it? It was a couple of years ago, we were looking at trying to get our SEO up, which is trying to get higher up on the Google rankings.
Yes. And
they were talking a lot about, you've got to write loads of blog posts and put them in certain places. And I'll be honest, it meant absolutely nothing to me. So what is a blog post?
Okay, so a blog post is just, it's basically an online article, and it can be any length from 500 words to 5,000 words. But a good length to aim for is something like about 1,000, 1,200. And what you do is you imagine the kind of question that somebody who might want the thing that you have, the kind of question that they might ask Google. And then you write an article answering that question. So if we were talking about something like somebody going to a dance class for the first time and feeling a bit nervous, they might say, one of the questions they might have is, what kind of shoes do I wear? So you would write a blog post saying something like, here are 5 different kinds of shoes that you might like to wear on the dance floor.
Okay.
And you use those phrases throughout. You might have heard about keywords and key phrases. So they're the ones that Google picks up and any other search engine will pick up. And notice that your article is about the subject that the person has typed into Google or voice searched on Google. And so that's what a blog post is. And the more you can create relevant content, the more you can create words that answer those questions that people are looking for, the higher up in the rankings you climb. And so the biggest organisations are writing hundreds of blog posts every year. So I worked for a while with is it all right to say the brand?
Yeah,
I worked for a while with the mindfulness app Calm, and they were producing, or together in a team of us, we were producing 50 blog posts a month, all around everything to do with mental health, well-being, sleep, physical health, relationships, because people need that information, and that was something that they and their app could help with. And so they wanted to climb those rankings so that when people typed in, how do I get better sleep? Or how do I start meditating? Or how can I get on better with a work colleague? It was their results that came up.
And therefore they climbed up higher up the rankings.
Yes, and therefore they're the ones you click on, because nobody really scrolls very far down the page when you get your Google search results, and you certainly don't click through to the second page anymore.
No, I mean, I remember many years ago, I was on a train going to Bath, and I typed in the phrase, learn to dance in Bath. Mm-hmm. And I started scrolling down, and I scrolled down, and I got to the 17th page before we actually appeared as a company. And I was like, we've really got to do something about that. Yeah. And in truth, we have done lots of work. It's been about a 5-year project, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah, it takes time.
Takes a long time, but now if you type it in, we come up as, I think, the third one.
Okay.
Which is good enough.
Yeah.
In truth. That will do. We're on the first page, and that's kind of all that really matters. Because a lot of people go past the sponsored ones automatically, don't they?
Yeah, because you know that they're just being paid for, and they're not necessarily absolutely relevant.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you've written this lovely statement. What are the 4 questions marketers and PRs should ask before they outsource to you? Can you remember what those 4 questions are?
I mean, I can probably talk round them for a bit.
Go on then.
Okay, so the first one is probably, for a lot of people, they worry that I might steal their clients. And try and do the PR and the marketing myself. And that's not my thing. I love to do the writing, but I like to leave the strategy with the PRs and marketers, because there's usually a whole team of us behind the scenes getting the word about a business out there, and that could be designers, it could be SEO specialists, it could be web developers, that kind of thing. So as long as we're all working together and pulling together in the same direction, that's where I like to be. Another question would be whether they have a strategy, because every business who's trying to promote themselves needs to know who they want to talk to, what their message is, why they want to talk to their audience about this, and how they're going to achieve that. So I can't fit in with that unless they've got that work already done. So that would be another question. That's 2 so far, isn't it?
It is 2 so far. You're halfway through.
Halfway through. Otherwise, it would probably be something like, do I need to be a writer myself? Because a lot of marketers love to write. And it is helpful to me, because I think they value the work that I do. If they can write, they value the work that I do, because they can see that I'm doing a good job. Some of them really don't like it. They can appreciate a good job well done, but they don't like doing it themselves, and so they like to outsource to me. And probably the 4th one would be, is there a budget? Because my work is not free.
Is it not?
No, it actually isn't. I know.
Who would have thought?
Who'd have thought? I do have to pay my mortgage somehow. They won't just let me write things for them.
Okay, so they have to have a budget.
They have to have a budget.
If somebody did want to use you, how could they get in touch with you?
Probably through LinkedIn would be the best place. Just type Laura Ansbro and you will find me as a copywriter.
And we even did your picture yesterday, didn't we?
We did.
We've updated your picture.
Yes, thank you so much.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried with AI updating your own picture?
No,
it's hilarious.
I haven't.
There was once I had a dance move that I was doing where I was kind of bending over a little bit, and I'll be honest with you, my tummy looked a little bit bigger than I wanted it to look.
Okay.
And I said, can you just kind of make me look a bit slimmer?
Yeah.
And the particular AI I was using wasn't a specialist in picture.
Okay.
So what it ended up doing is it did shave off some of my tummy, and that's fine. But it also shaved off some of my head as well. And I looked so thin, and my nose ended up being about, Pinocchio size.
Wow.
And it didn't quite look the same, shall we say.
I bet it was very amusing, though.
It was quite amusing, but there are better programs out there that do that. So on a day-to-day basis then, what does kind of your day look like?
Well, I sit down at my desk, which is in my spare room at home, with my pot of tea and
loose leaf tea,
and I open up whatever document I'm working on at the time, which could be for, I often have 3 or 4 or 5 clients on the go, and depending on the brief. So let's say I was writing a blog post, I would be perhaps doing a bit of research. Maybe I would be interviewing somebody from their business who's an expert in that field, and creating an article that is nice to read, that meets those SEO keywords that we were talking about, but not overdoing it because Google can recognise that. And then eventually sending it off to the client to see what they think.
Okay. And how do you feel like they must come back saying, I like this, but I don't like that?
Yeah.
How do you get past that then?
I think, that's a really good question, because in the early days, it's terrifying, because you're asking somebody to judge you and you don't know what they're going to think, particularly the first couple of times you work together. But my sort of key phrase that I always come back to when I send it off by email is that I'm really looking forward to hearing your feedback.
Okay.
Because I obviously, as a writer, I want to do a good job for them. I want them to be pleased with what I'm doing. And the only way to do that is to get feedback. And therefore, I am looking forward to getting their feedback. So instead of dreading it, I do look forward to hearing the bits that they like and the bits that they don't like. Because, of course, every client's different. They all have slightly different tastes, slightly different requirements. And the way to nurture that understanding is to hear the negatives as well as the positives.
Now, we're going to go into my book very shortly. Can't wait. Love talking about my book, as everybody knows. Do you know what? My daughter has now banned me when we're in the car about me talking about my book.
Oh.
I know. It's because it kind of comes up in every conversation.
Yeah.
However, I did have one of my favourite things ever, and that is my youngest daughter quoting my book to Zoe the other day.
Fantastic.
And that part to me was just so good. She was actually talking about something that was happening at school. She was like, in chapter 18 of Dad's book. And I was like,
wow.
Come on. That was quite nice. But from your perspective, obviously you do all this writing, and you're going to be editing my book and all of those things. What about you and writing itself for you? Is it something you do?
It has been in the past. And I was once a runner-up in the Salisbury Literary Festival writing competition, which was lovely. But I write so much for clients now that I don't often write for myself. I think doing the client work fulfills a lot of that need for me, a lot of that enjoyment. And also there's an element of it becomes a busman's holiday after a while. And it's nice to go and do something else as a break.
Fair enough. Now, you've chosen the next track, which is Sweet But Psycho by Ava Max. Why this one?
It's a really great song. It's good fun. It's another dance floor song. And also, I often lift share with my friend Judy to dancing events, and this is on her playlist.
Brilliant. Back with Laura shortly.
Psycho, a little bit psycho. At night she's screaming, I'm on my mind. Oh, she's hot but a psycho. So left but she's right though. At night she's screaming, I'm on my mind. She'll make you curse, but see a blessing. She'll rip your shirt within a second.
Part 3 then with the lovely Laura Ansbro. Do you know what? Sometimes you try and put your teeth back in. Part 3 now with Laura Ansbro, who's on a story to tell with me, Richard Beauvoisin, here till midday today. There's my presenting voice.
It was lovely.
Was it? Was it soothing?
Yes, yeah. Like an advert for hot chocolate or something.
Yes, Horlicks, making you feel sleepy at night.
Yeah.
I think I've missed my calling in some degree.
I think so.
Yeah. As a voiceover. But voiceover artists, you see these days, just going to be taken over by AI.
Oh,
But we'll come back to that.
Thought, isn't it?
We'll come back to that in part 4 after the news, mate. Now, you did an advert for us. So I put a post out from Radio Bar saying, you're on my show.
Yeah.
And then you put a post out, which I thought was really clever. And then there was a bit at the bottom which made me chuckle, and I assumed it was AI that had written this. And it says, image description, 2 of the most beautiful faces you can imagine above Radio Bath branding. And then you've told me off air that, no, you wrote that.
I wrote that, yes.
So I'm intrigued. Why?
Well, I like to do an image description because it helps people who have accessibility difficulties, somebody who's maybe visually impaired and can't see the pictures. And so putting an image description at the bottom of the post is helpful. I always feel really self-conscious writing about myself, especially if there's a picture of myself.
Yeah.
And so I do tend to take the mick a little bit.
Okay.
And because that just makes me feel a bit more comfortable. So that's why I described us as two of the most beautiful faces, because, if you can see it, then you know that we are, of course, two of the most beautiful faces. And if you can't, then you can just imagine how incredible we might look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, both beautiful people, of course.
Of course we are.
But mainly inside, rather than just outside.
Yeah, I definitely have a face for radio.
That is not what I'm saying in any way, shape or form. Now, what I also loved is I loved the fact that you started off with, look, Mum, I'm going to be on the radio.
Yeah.
Now, that is really catchy.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of, everyone has a mum, and they're going, oh, what's that all about?
Yeah.
So what made you come up with that then?
Well, I think it's very easy when you're writing on social media, if you're making an announcement about your business, it's very easy to say something like, I'm overjoyed, or I'm honoured, or I'm proud, and nobody really cares about that. But actually, what do you actually do when something exciting like going on the radio happens? You ring up your mum and you go, oh my gosh, I'm going to be on the radio, which is what I did. Okay.
I was going to say, is it a true post?
Yeah, hi Mum, hi Dad.
Well, you went into a soft voice then.
I did, didn't I?
Hi.
Hello.
So you actually called your mum and said you were excited to be on the radio?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
So have you been on the radio before?
No, never.
Okay, this is a new thing for you. How are you finding it so far?
It's very exciting. I like the big microphone, I like the headphones, I like the fact that you made me a cup of tea in a Radio Bath branded mug.
I did. I know we have the Radio Bath stuff, everything.
Yeah.
It's, do you know, we had International Men's Day yesterday.
Okay.
And as part of that, we came in for a lunch, which was lovely. And it just made you realise that Radio Bath cares about people.
That's lovely.
In a kind of weird way. I don't think I've ever been part of an organisation that cares so much about people.
Really?
Yeah. And it's great for my personal business, to kind of have that same feeling that I should care as much, but do things that make people realise how much I care.
Yeah.
Because I do care incredibly about everybody in the dance business.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does it always come across as strongly as it should? Probably not. So yeah, I need to work harder on that. Now, we're going to move on to the wonderful world of my book.
Yes.
So this is the book which I started writing over a year ago now.
Yeah.
And it's called Who Are You to Give Me Advice? So the principle is I've been giving advice for over a quarter of a century. I'm not a trained counsellor or anything like that. It's purely on a dance basis. I've been giving advice, but I've got loads and loads of different ideas about how you can kind of give advice, the way in which you do it, and little quirky things like making a dog meow and all sorts of wonderful weird things, little short chapters. And I said I needed an editor, and I knew that you were an editor, so I approached you, didn't I?
Yes.
How did you feel when I approached you to do it?
Oh, very excited and overjoyed. And it's the first book I've edited. I've edited lots of articles and blog posts for other writers, but I've never edited a book before. So we talked a bit about it, didn't we? In the fact that actually, because they're quite short chapters, each with their own quite distinct theme, actually that's just an evolution of what I'd already been doing. So, yeah, really excited. And, of course, because I'm in your studio quite often, we have a lot of these conversations, and I know that you're a great storyteller. So, I couldn't wait to get my hands on it, really.
No, somebody said to me the other day, because I talk about it so much, they said it's the most anticipated book of the year. And I was like, probably not.
And also next year.
It will be next year. It's definitely not going to happen this year. No. Because I'll be honest with you, the editing process is horrific.
I can't believe you just said that.
Horrific.
No, it's lovely.
Well, let me explain about why it's horrific. Okay, now I had the pleasure very recently of interviewing Lemony Snicket, also known as Daniel Handler, who wrote A Series of Unfortunate Events.
Yes.
Sold 70 million books, and Beatrice was on the phone call as well, or on the Zoom call. And she asked him the question, what's the most amount of times you've edited a chapter?
Yeah.
And he came up with this phrase, and he said, I write a chapter and it's terrible. I then carry it around for a while and it's still terrible. I then rewrite it and it's still terrible. And he says, quite often what happens, I rewrite it and rewrite it and rewrite it to about 30 to 40 times before eventually there's nothing else I can do, and that's fine.
Yeah.
And I absolutely empathise with that, because I opened up a chapter the other day, because I've written the book.
Yeah.
It's all done. My sister is the only person in the world who's read the first draft of it.
Yeah.
And she came back with a variety of bits of feedback, but she liked it. But I've looked back at some of those first chapters now that I'm looking at now, revisiting it as I go through editing process. They're terrible. Genuinely terrible. Because I'm a novice writer. This is my first ever book, so I haven't got a clue what I'm doing.
Well, I wouldn't say they were terrible. I have certainly seen worse, and I've been sent manuscripts which are truly terrible,
right,
and make me sort of cringe and shudder as I look at them. Yours is not terrible. Yours is wonderful, and it just needs development and
needs
sparkle.
Polishing.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I find it fascinating in that I look at stuff that I do and I go, that's quite generic. So I had a chapter the other day which I started writing, and then I kind of wrote it, and I was like, that's really good. And then I looked at it and went, yeah, but if I deleted that, nobody would notice. So I thought, it's not good enough.
Yeah.
And then I actually wrote it from a personal perspective, and in a weird sort of way, it made me cry.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Thought, that needs to stay in.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of like I've tried to make it as personal as possible, without giving too many things away as such. But I'm loving writing it.
It's making it relatable. That's the thing, isn't it? Because you don't necessarily have to go into every minute personal detail of your life, but a lot of the experiences that you write about, everybody will have had something like that, and it's bringing those feelings to life, isn't it?
It is. Now, earlier on, you said about the fact that you send off and you get feedback.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, obviously, for me, this is exactly what I'm after. I'm not expecting you to come back going, yes, it's great.
Yeah.
And I have to say, the first time I sent the first few chapters for you, it took a few days to come back, which is fair enough. I get that. You don't drop everything just because I've sent you a chapter. Apparently, that doesn't always happen. I was petrified. Absolutely petrified. What did you think? Am I completely barking up the wrong tree regarding writing what I'm writing about?
Yeah.
What was your first impressions then?
My first impressions were... Gosh, I mean, it was a while ago now.
It is,
so that's a good question. I'd looked over your shoulder a couple of times as you scrolled through, and my first impressions were very much that there was some really good stuff there, and some great concepts and some great ideas. And what we just needed to do was draw them out a little bit, draw the story out, make sure we had enough detail, but not too much detail. Take out anything that was irrelevant. And that I was really looking forward to seeing how it evolved and improved and really became, started to fulfill its potential, which I think now the earlier chapters, they're getting there, aren't they?
Yeah, they are getting there. I mean, the bit that you've helped me with massively, and for anybody else that wants to use you, of course, obviously you're available for hire, is that you've helped train me to a large degree, to the point where I can now write it, and I've actually stopped sending you stuff quite so often.
Yeah, I haven't had anything for ages.
No, you haven't. And, I've actually got up to chapter 20 now, I think it is, and the last chapter I think you had was about chapter 8.
Yes.
But I will go back and rewrite those a number of more times before they get to you now, because there was one chapter which I genuinely thought was okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And it was only about 3 pages long, because each of the chapters is quite short. And it came back with 116 edits from yourself. Gosh. And I looked at it and thought, I'm probably wasting Laura's time here a little bit. Because if she's having to do that amount of work on it, then it's nowhere near ready for you to look at yet. So I've kind of changed my philosophy now to say it needs to be, at least 80% of the way there before it gets to you. Because I think I was using it almost as a sounding board.
Yeah, and that's great, and that's a great way to start. But now, because I'm coming back with the kind of feedback I come back with probably is along the same sort of 3 or 4 themes, would you say? And so that way you're able to think, hang on, what would Laura say if she read this?
Absolutely. Yeah. That's exactly what I do. I read it and I go, that needs drawing out, or that needs shortening, because sometimes it needs to be brought tighter, and then sometimes I look at it and I go, this is way too tight, and then other times this feels like a long conversation and just rabbiting on.
So gone off on a tangent or something like that.
And there's nothing wrong with going off on a tangent. One of the favourite things that you've done for me, which I think is absolutely brilliant and has made a huge difference for my book so far, that I believe anyway, is you gave me the advice about Terry Pratchett.
Oh, yes.
Tell me what that advice was.
So, often in your writing you have little asides to the reader. It's almost like you're leaning over and just giving them a nudge and saying, and just telling a little joke or adding a little detail in. And I love that. It's brilliant. It really shows your personality. But sometimes it can sort of break the flow of the story, particularly if it's maybe a very suspenseful or intense part of the story, or perhaps if it's quite a serious part and you're making a little joke. And so instead of having it in the main body of the text, we started to put it in the footnotes at the bottom of the page, didn't we? Which is something that anybody who has read any Terry Pratchett, his famous Discworld series in particular, will know that he does. And it's just that little extra bit of information or an extra joke at the bottom, and therefore it doesn't break the flow of the main narrative. It just gives you that little extra, and it feels like a little personal comment to the reader. And
I've loved doing them. Generally in each chapter there's at least 5 of those now.
Yeah.
And I'm finding them fascinating. So I'm like, I really want to say this, but as you say, it doesn't fit.
Yeah.
But I can just go, oh, hang on a sec, let me just pop in a little footnote here, and then I can rabbit on for a little bit.
Yeah, it's lovely.
And I've just found that's kind of where I've tried to add the humour in, I suppose.
Yeah.
And because I was looking at the book, and I actually watched the film, Adam Sandler film, Happy Gilmore 2.
Oh, okay, I haven't seen it.
It's actually a fun film.
Yeah.
It's where he's a golfer, but he was originally a hockey player.
Oh, okay.
And it's kind of about how kind of the world is, quite pompous regarding golf. Anyway, it's a comedy, but it's actually quite a lot of serious stuff in it as well.
Yeah.
And I kind of took a lot of guidance from that, and regarding my book, and I'd have quite a long time of actually some of this stuff is quite good advice or quite serious. But let's chuck a joke in now, type
yes,
thing.
exactly.
Just to lighten the mood.
Yeah.
And I've tried to do that as much as possible. Yeah. But I can't wait to give you the next chapter, if I'm honest with you.
I'm really looking forward to it. I know. I feel like I'm getting withdrawal symptoms.
Do you?
Yeah, I love getting your book because, as you say, it's full of lovely... I want to say life lessons exactly, but words of wisdom that you think, oh yes, that's such a good way of thinking about things.
Yeah, that's the plan, is that each one. So, one of the parts I've just written about, I mentioned earlier, making a dog meow, is that quite often in life we look at somebody and say, I wish they could do this.
Yeah.
But if you looked at a dog and then said, why isn't it meowing? It's not the dog's fault that it can't meow.
Yeah.
But we often in life try and get somebody near us, often a partner, to go, please meow, even though you're a dog.
Yeah.
It's that kind of principle behind it.
We really want to accept people for who they are rather than trying to squeeze them in a cat-shaped box.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And as I do say, one of my little footnotes is that for those that do know me, because I end up being a cat in one of the examples, and I say for most people that know me, they'll know that I'm not a cat person, and that I'm actually a dog person. But in this occasion, I ended up being a cat. We're going to come back till 12 o'clock here today. Where Is My Husband by Ray? Why this track?
Again, it's another great dance floor song, isn't it? They're all good dance floor songs.
And I need to, for Dave Mason, who's another presenter here, do the rap bit and record it and send it in to him, and he's going to play it on his show.
How exciting.
I know. I can't wait for that. Honest. Back with Laura after the news. The wonderful world of Chesney Hawkes. Had the pleasure of interviewing him not that long ago, Laura. Still one of my nicest moments when he turned around. We had a problem via Zoom and he went, "Hi Richard, it's Chesney."
Wow.
And I'm still dining out on that moment.
Having tingles.
Yeah, in fact, it even appears in the book, doesn't it?
It does.
A little bit of Chesney in there.
Yeah.
So, how I dealt with it from a mental perspective.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. So, it's Richard Beauvoisin here until midday today. My guest today is Laura Ansbro. She's an editor and, most importantly, my editor of my book, which will be coming out next year. People keep asking me, when's it coming out? I'm like, next year.
When it's good enough. When it's ready.
Yeah, so Daniel Handler, Lemony Snicket man, he said his principle regarding knowing when it's ready, he says, imagine holding on to somebody that's hanging off a cliff.
Yeah.
He's quite dark at times. So he said, imagine you're holding onto a tree and they're holding onto your hand.
Okay.
And then you realise that there literally is nothing else that you can do apart from let go of them and let them go to their eternal death. And he said, at that point there, you know you've edited it enough.
Wow.
That's the way he looked at it.
Could we think of it like a bird being ready to leave the nest instead? That might be less dark.
Yeah, but saying that, in the first 10 minutes, him and my daughter Beatrice, the way they're both going to die is in a canoe together in San Francisco Bay.
Wow.
So that's kind of where it went.
Wow.
Yeah, 10 minutes of her life, which is, I think, going to live with her forever.
And
nice
probably you as well, after hearing that.
Yeah. Well, let's just say if we ever go to San Francisco, she's not getting in a canoe.
No.
Certainly if Daniel Handler's around.
Yeah.
That ain't going to happen.
No.
Because that would be really stupid to
Yes.
kind of let her do that.
Yeah.
But I don't think she's going to do that. It's unlikely. But anything is possible. You never know. Anyway, we're going to talk about editing more, okay? We're also going to talk about your dance journey soon, which is
exciting.
lovely. I know. And don't forget, you will get your quick fire round as well. Think now. You've listened to some of these shows,
Yes,
haven't you?
yeah.
So you know some of the questions,
I
I'm
do,
guessing.
yeah.
Like, what's your favourite ice cream and all that type of stuff. Yeah. But we're going to talk about editing and AI, because AI is coming around a lot.
Yes.
More and more on a day-by-day basis.
Yeah.
And there's certain jobs that are likely to go with AI, and there are certain jobs that are likely to be safe with AI. Being a radio presenter is probably one of the ones that won't exist, in truth.
Do you think?
Yeah. I think doing long-form interviews like this might exist. But just your general, and there's Chesney Hawkes and the one and only. Coming up next is going to be Good Luck Babe by Chapel Road. Why I went into Smashing Nice Voice, I have no idea. But that's fairly straightforward to recreate that.
Yeah. Did you try the Spotify beta test of their...
I didn't.
It was terrible.
Was it?
Yes, and it did exactly what you just did, but much more annoyingly.
Right.
And it chopped off the beginnings and ends of the songs, and I switched that off very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not so sure.
There is a long way to go. But it's getting exponentially better.
Yes,
so therefore
very quickly.
Very, very quickly, and it's just going to get better and better. Now, first of all, I'll say how I use AI and the wonderful world of ChatGPT or Grok. In fact, I need to bring up this. I'll bring this up in the next section. The review of Grok of my book, which I thought was hilarious. So Grok, for those that aren't aware, is another version of ChatGPT. So I basically write the chapter, and then I upload it into ChatGPT, and I ask it to rate it on a number of different sections, from flow to structure to grammar and all of that, and it kind of gives me a rating out of 10 how it is. And I then look at it and I go, oh yeah, actually quite a lot of that isn't quite right. I then go and rewrite it again. I don't use ChatGPT to write it for me. I'd like to point that out, because it needs to be my work, not somebody else's work. And once I've kind of done that a number of times, I'll then send it to you. Because initially what I was doing was sending you the first bit, and you'd go, oh yes, but all of these things were wrong. But actually that's just a waste of yours and my time. So I'm using it in that way to kind of remove some of the initial structures. But then I need your expertise as a human to go, what about all of these things? And I go, I didn't think about those. So what's your first thoughts on how I, as a writer, am using AI?
I think it's entirely sensible. It's such a great tool for getting an answer quickly and cheaply, because of course AI is free to use a lot of the time, and it can pull out those points for you that you can then go and fix yourself. Yeah, absolutely.
And then from your perspective then, so that's how I would use it. You are an editor. Do you use it?
I have done. I don't use it a lot. But I have, a bit of a mixed bag. So I mentioned working with the mindfulness app Calm. We used it a lot there. So we had somebody who was what's called a prompt engineer. So they put in like please can you write me a, and then the description of what they want. And then there was a team of us humans making it sound more like a human wrote it rather than like AI wrote it. So that's one of the ways I use it. It's also good when you feel you're sort of having that, I've got an idea, but I can't quite form it in my mind. If you can put a question into AI and it can come up with some ideas, it can sort of start the brainstorming process for you. So I was working with another writer and we were trying to come up with a brand name for something. And we just put it into AI and it came up with 10 or 20 suggestions. And we hated all of them. And so we asked it for some more, and it came up with another 10 or 20 suggestions, and we still hated all of them. And it was sort of scraping the bottom of the barrel by that point. But what it did do is it made us go, yes, we hate all of them, but we like this aspect of that one. We like that aspect of that one. And then, as humans, we came up with a brand name that we really liked. And so I think it's good for ideas generation. And it might be that you throw away 99% of the ideas, but there might just be that little gem in there that sparks an idea in yourself, that helps you bring that creativity a little bit more quickly.
So it's like having another person in the room.
Absolutely, yeah. And you sometimes hear it described as a keen but clueless intern. So it's somebody to bounce ideas off. If you want it to actually do some real work, you need to give it very, very detailed, specific instructions, and it might still get it wrong. Yeah. But it's nice to start that conversation, to generate that conversation. And sometimes you have a real person in the room to do it, and sometimes you have AI to help you out with that.
Now, I was chatting to Lucia Chadwick, who's the CEO of Focus Counselling, a couple of weeks ago on this show, and we were talking about AI and about how some people are actually using AI as a counsellor.
Yes, yeah.
And that the way it seems to have been set up is it seems to speak to you really nicely.
Yeah, it does,
so like I was on the way over here asking about why my phone was on slow charger. So I brought Chatty up, as I like to call her, and said, "Hi, Chatty, why is that, And she's like, "Good morning, Richard, how are you today?" Oh, and it's kind of like done in a really nice way. And actually you do find that, if I'm typing stuff in, it kind of comes back with nice things all the time.
Yeah, it's designed to be a people pleaser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But unfortunately in editing, that's not necessarily what you want, because sometimes as an editor, I'm guessing you have to turn around and go, "This is terrible."
No, I would never say that. But I would say a nicer version of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you've got to be a bit more blunt, I suppose.
Yeah. This needs more work. Let's develop this a bit. But then, you can tell me maybe I need to be a bit more like, these are the good bits. Because I do sometimes, I do sometimes put, I love this part, and I thought, I've only done that once in this whole chapter, which is not to say I don't love the rest. But
I am aware of that.
Particularly love that bit.
Yeah, it's a very difficult one. Like when I'm giving feedback regarding dancing. Yeah. I could say all of the great things you're doing, but that's then going to fill your mind up with all of the great things that you're doing, when actually it's the things you need to work on, that you want to focus on. So therefore, for your mind space, which is chapter 2, then you need to kind of, empty out your bottle, or empty out your pint glass, so you can then kind of fill it with the things you're needing to develop. So from an editor's perspective, no, I want the bits you go, try it like this, do it like that, and all of those things. But yes, of course, it's quite nice when you write something in there that this made me chuckle. Yeah. Or I love this part, or this bit, connected to me, whatever it may be. Do you think, as an editor then, where do you see editing being in like 5-10 years' time regarding AI?
That's a really good question. I think AI will be doing a lot more of the writing. And as you've said, it will be doing a lot more of that initial edit. It takes the donkey work out of a lot of stuff. But I think you still will need a human, because if you think about the great authors that we love, none of them sound anything like what ChatGPT would write. They're all using language in a different way. And to get that uniqueness and that real personality, and the thing that makes a great piece of writing is that it's come from a human. And so I think we'll be editing at a higher level. I think we'll be really focusing on the language and the connection, rather than things like the structure, the sentence format, or the spelling and punctuation and that kind of thing. I think it will be the icing on the cake.
So do you feel like in some ways it's going to streamline what you do to give you time to actually focus on, as you say, rather than going structurally, this isn't right, the comma's not in the right place, it kind of will do that donkey work for you, and then you can focus on, connection. Yeah. How does it make the reader feel? Yeah. Which actually I'm guessing is what you'd love to edit more of. I
think there's because of the way my brain works, I quite like doing the structural part. I quite like going, okay, well, if we put this, this half a sentence at the beginning of the paragraph instead, how does that make it feel? How does that work out? So I quite enjoy that, and that's my way in. But I think as it develops, I think you're absolutely right. It will go in that direction. That you'd probably want to have, at least to begin with, 2 documents side by side, the one that AI has had a go at editing and the original, and take a look and see which parts of the AI worked one you'd like to keep, and which ones you'd go, no, that's not a great suggestion. And there's a reason why, as a writer, my author has made that decision, which ChatGPT, as excellent as it is in many ways, it doesn't have feelings and it doesn't have connection. And I think there's a real human element to that you won't be able to get.
One of the ways in which I've now been editing my book, by the way, is actually pretending that I'm doing the audiobook.
Really?
Yeah. because I will do an audiobook
Yeah,
of
that
it.
would be lovely.
Obviously, I'll just do it myself because I'm used to being on radio and all of that. And I always think that audiobooks presented by the author are just way better.
Much better
than somebody else doing it, as long as they've got a half-decent voice.
Yeah.
And so when I've been reading out physically some of the chapters, they don't work. Because the flow isn't there, and I'm like, I wouldn't, that's not quite right. How would, I want to rewrite it as I'm talking about it. And one of the things my sister said when she first read the first draft, she went, it was really bizarre, because obviously she's known me all my life, or all her life at least. She said, I could hear you talking.
Yeah.
And that for me was kind of where I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that, from your perspective, it might be that it does the naff work to some degree and allows you more time to develop the better work, and therefore everything's just going to be better.
Yeah.
That's the theory behind it anyway.
And I love that you're reading it out. Are you reading it out loud, or are you reading it out in your mind?
No, I read it out loud, so it actually works.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of writers do. Or you can get, in Microsoft Word, you can get it to read it back in its computery voice, because sometimes you hear that the cadence doesn't quite work, or you hear that the description doesn't quite work if you read it out loud.
The one thing I will say about editing, it takes a long time.
It does take a long time.
I wrote this book August last year, and it's been a year at least, and I'm on, I think, the third swipe effectively of editing the book, and I'm halfway through the third swipe, and I reckon I've got at least another 4 or 5 to go yet. But they're getting easier as we go through. It's time for some music. You've chosen Good Luck Babe by Chapel Roan. Why this track?
It's just a great song to sing along to. I love Chapel Roan.
Brilliant. I'm not sure I know this track. We'll find out. Yeah, let's have a little listen. Starts off nice. Back with Laura right after this.
It's fine, it's cool. You can say that we ain't nothing, but you know the truth. And guess I'm the fool with their arms out like an angel through the gosh sunroof. I don't wanna call it off, but you don't wanna call it love. You only wanna be the one that I call baby. Cause I'm the poison was shoot another shot to stop the feeling. You could say it's just the way you are.
Time for the next section now with Laura Ansbro, who's an editor, my editor. My name's Richard Beauvoisin, and we're here until midday. Charlotte is up afterwards, of course. If you've missed out on any of this, then you can type in Radio Bath to any podcast provider, and you will be able to find this episode hopefully later on today, possibly tomorrow. We'll see how we get on with editing on all of that. So I edit my own programmes, Laura.
Wow.
I'd love to say I had a producer that did it, but no, it's me. We're going to move on now to your dancing, but before we do that, if somebody did want to use you as an editor, how could they contact you?
Find me on LinkedIn.
Okay, simple as that. And it's Laura Ansbro, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
Lovely. Right, now, you're dancing then. So we know each other from dancing. You come round to my studio every single week.
I do,
And every Wednesday morning at 9:30.
Yeah, that's my slot.
It's your slot. It's all good. I enjoy seeing you every week. Often with Chris.
Yeah.
Which is good. And I've seen your dancing develop over the years.
Yeah.
But I want to go back to the beginning,
Yes.
actually. So what was your first night like?
Terrifying.
And where did you go?
Warminster.
Okay. Oh, wow. Was it that long ago?
It was a really long time ago. I was trying to think what year it was, and I think it must have been about 2008 or 2009.
Yeah.
So a really long time ago.
And who was teaching?
It was you.
It was me. I'm sorry about that.
It was you.
Okay. I remember your first night really well, of course. Obviously.
Well, I would hide because I thought, I couldn't dance with Richard. That would be too scary.
Was it scary?
Yeah.
Was I scary?
You weren't scary. I was scared.
Okay.
Important differentiation.
Okay, that's fair enough. I always remember back in the day when I very first passed out for my training. I was only 23 at the time.
Wow.
And so 25, sorry. And somebody came up to me and said, what I really like about you is that compared to the other teachers, you're not intimidating at all. Oh. And I thought that was really nice. Yeah. And I think over the last 20 years, that's completely disappeared. Because I now have people come... sometimes, and this is quite weird, but I see them walking up and I ask them for a dance and they just look terrified. Absolutely terrified.
I think I still look quite terrified.
And then they start shaking.
Yeah.
with absolute nerves, and it normally takes about 2 minutes for that shaking to kind of ease off.
Yeah,
but it's still just me.
I know, but you stand on the stage with a microphone, knowing everything.
Yeah, well, I know enough. Let's go down that route. What was your first night like then? How did you find out about it first of all?
I think it must have been a Facebook thing.
Right.
I think it must have been a Facebook thing, and you had on an offer for the first night free.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, why not? Give it a go. Yeah.
And did you come by yourself?
I came with my husband at the time, and we came along. We were both terrified,
right?
And then we were really relieved because we accidentally got paired up together at the beginning, and then we didn't know what we were doing because it was new for both of us. And then because everybody moves around a couple of places every minute or so, that was scary because you're dancing, you're sort of holding hands immediately with somebody you've never met. But actually, the experience of having somebody who, even if they've only been doing it a few more weeks than you, know what they're doing, and then suddenly it all starts to make sense.
And then eventually you get that moment where you can go, I can do it.
Yeah.
How was that feeling when you got to that point?
Well, I think you just relax and you realise that actually everybody's there to have a nice time, and nobody really minds whether you've been dancing for 5 minutes or 5 years or 50 years. Everybody's just there to have a nice time, and everybody's really friendly and smiley. And so even if you don't have very much experience, you can just do it. And even if you're there for your first night and you've just learnt those first 3 moves, that's all you need to get started, and it's brilliant.
Now, you said I was your teacher. Do you remember who the taxi dancers were back then?
I remember Anne.
Yeah, might have even been Mario time.
Mario, it was Mario.
Sadly no longer with us.
Yeah, Jim, I remember.
Oh yeah,
Jim.
The old Warminster crew.
Yeah.
Blimey, sadly that venue, we don't use it anymore. We haven't used it for a long time. Unfortunately, they got taken over and put the rent up quite a lot.
No.
Which seems to happen quite a lot to venues. They kind of go, let's make it £400 for a Monday night for 3 hours. And you go,
wow,
I can't really afford that.
No.
So they then get 100% of nothing.
Yeah, it's very silly.
It happens quite a lot.
Yeah.
So where did you go after Warminster then sadly passed away?
Then I moved house.
Okay.
So I moved more towards Salisbury. So I started going to the Wilton venue then. And then life got in the way and I didn't dance. Apart from, maybe occasionally at somebody's wedding or something like that, for years. Right. A really long time.
Okay. And when did you come back to it then?
Probably about 2.5 years ago, because I knew that in a drawer I had one of the, what we call the admit ones, where, you buy a set of 10, don't you? And I knew that there was one left in the drawer, and it had been, it was just always in my mind that one day I'll go back to Ciroc, and then one day I went, I'm just going to use that admit one. And
how did you feel then? So you're now an experienced dancer, going back into the room.
It felt like coming home.
Did it?
It really did. It felt like, even though the crew had, I didn't necessarily recognise all of the crew, but coming into that environment and just being able to meet somebody for the first time and immediately feel welcomed and smiled at, and then you just dance together, and it's lovely, and it's a really special place to be. It's a really special environment.
Yeah, and that's every Tuesday night, isn't it?
Yeah, so every Tuesday night.
Michael Herbert Hall in Wilton.
Yeah.
Now, you aren't just one of the normal dancers now, though, are you?
No.
So recently you got asked to become a demo by Sean, who's the teacher there.
He's listening. Hi, Sean.
Hi, Sean. And just released a new track, actually. I'll try and play it for it at some point.
Oh, yeah.
And how did you feel when you became a demo? So a demo is somebody's up on stage with the teacher, so you don't have a microphone on or anything.
No.
You are there to...
I'm like the sparkly assistant.
The sparkly assistant.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did it feel being asked to be a demo then?
Oh, I was so excited, and I've never told anybody this.
Oh, God.
I had in my mind one day I want to be a demo.
Okay.
And I thought to myself, how can I line myself up for being a demo? So instead of sort of turning up halfway through the beginner's class, I started turning up early.
Right.
And and then I don't think I really expected to be asked, but it just happened that one of the previous demos was moving house, and therefore there was a slot that needed filling.
And Sean asked you?
Yeah, and I stepped into it.
You did?
Yeah.
And how do you feel? Because obviously when people are watching you dance, the follows, doing the follow part, they're copying you.
Yeah.
They want to be you.
Well, it's quite terrifying. And I remember coming to tell you that because I was already having private lessons.
Yeah.
I remember coming to tell you that I'd been asked to be a demo. And I think I said something like, I've got something to tell you and I don't know what you're going to say, because I didn't really feel like I was good enough. But blimey, I was going to jump at that chance. So it is quite scary. And I started because previously I'd only been coming to you once a fortnight for my private lessons, and then I upped it to once a week because I thought I can't be doing things wrong and showing everybody else how to do things, not realising that it's wrong.
I'm always intrigued. What was my reaction when you told me I was going to be a demo?
I think you went, all right, well, Sean obviously thinks you're good enough, so that's okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right, reticent.
Yeah.
It's, but you do a brilliant job. And I'm going to talk very briefly about your clothing. So you like a lot of clothes, don't you?
Yes, I have a very extensive dance floor wardrobe.
And is it different to your normal wardrobe then?
I mean, there are overlaps.
Right.
There are overlaps, but yes, largely.
The principle I always use for people that are up on stage is, would you wear it to Tesco? Other supermarkets are available as well.
Yeah.
And if yes is the answer, it's probably not right for stage.
Yeah, I mean, I have done if I've needed to pop to Tesco on my way.
Of course.
But it does feel quite strange, walking about with maybe see-through trousers with sparkly bits on, or, a sequin crop top, or velvet jumpsuit and fishnet sleeves.
As you do.
Yes.
Yeah, just standard attire. And where do you get all this stuff from?
Oh, I get it all from Vinted.
Okay.
So everybody says, I think people often ask me, where do you have a seamstress? Do you make it yourself? No, I buy it all secondhand for about £2 or £3 per item, and then I wear it on stage and everybody thinks it's amazing.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now, it's not just being a demo. You've also done some competing as well, haven't you?
I have, yes.
How have you found that?
Really exciting, and I think I maybe don't take it as seriously as other people do, because I really want to do well, but you turn up on the day and you just have a lovely time. And I think because I'm compete at quite the lower levels of competition, what's really nice about that is by the time all of my rounds are over, that's quite early in the day. It might be because we start very early for a competition, don't we, sort of 9 or 10 o'clock. I'm usually finished by 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then you can just sit back and watch all of these amazing advanced dancers and professional dancers doing their thing with maybe a glass of something in your hand.
Sounds good.
And it's so wonderful and inspirational and exciting, and it's a lovely atmosphere. It's just everybody's so kind and supportive, and it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, and you and Chris have competed together, and Gavin as well in the time too.
Yeah.
So no, you do very well. Obviously, I help mentor you both.
Yeah.
And is there any plans to compete again next year?
We will probably do the Chill Out Champs in Chippenham, which will be exciting. So. Yeah, but of course I won't be competing at beginner level anymore. We'll have to be intermediate, and that feels like a big jump.
Does it? Yeah, there's a lot of good intermediate dancers.
Yeah.
But you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
It'll be nice. I'll wear a nice outfit, and that's what else do you need? Turn up with a smile and have a dance.
Indeed so. Now, just going back to AI very quickly and editing.
Yes.
I said in the previous link that I was going to find the review that Grok had done of my book. So what I did is I uploaded the first 20 chapters or so into Grok, because I thought I'd just get a different philosophy, see what it says. And I thought this was quite an amusing... it says its final thought. This is what it said, and I thought this was just made me chuckle. It says, "This is evolving into something special, just to prove how nice Grok is to people. Not just self-help, but life help with soul. Chapters 10 to 13 add emotional intelligence layers that make the book richer. I'm hooked. Send 15 to 20 next, or whatever batch works. This could be a bestseller. Keep this momentum going. You're nailing it." I thought, what a nice review. And if only I got an actual real review like that, that'd be great.
I mean, it's sort of sucking up to quite a lot, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but I still like it.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm using that. That's going on the back cover.
Yeah. Says AI.
AI says you've got a bestseller, mate. You've chosen Shake It Off by Taylor Swift. Why this track?
Because it's a lot of fun, and I remember going to a toddler group with my son when he was really small, and they played this and none of the toddlers cared, but all the mummies were shaking pom-poms and dancing about.
Brilliant. Back with a quick fire round with Laura right after this.
I say I'm too late. Got nothing in my brain. That's what people say. That's what people say. I go on too many dates, but I can't make them stay. At least that's what people say. That's what people say. But I keep cruising. Can't stop, won't stop moving. It's like I got
Time for the last section now. It's Richard Beauvoisin here. Charlotte is up next, but I'm here now with Laura Ansbro, Editor of the Year in my eyes, and that's where I'm going with it. She's my editor, of course. Next week, I'm interviewing a lady called Susan Heaton-Wright, and she's going to be talking all about communication. So kind of on a similar vein, really.
Yeah.
But she's won awards and everything. So
Amazing.
I'll be chatting to her, and lots of stuff coming up. Dr. Ashish is coming back in the new year. I love Dr. Ashish.
Yeah.
And we're going to be doing loads of stuff. And even a live lounge in December from hopefully Joel Rose, who was in here a couple of years ago. He's an Americano singer. So loads coming up over the next few weeks as well. But now it's time, Laura, for your quick fire round.
Okay.
Not talking about editing, but how do you feel about your quick fire round?
Like I might not be very good at being quick.
Okay, that's all right. Now, you have listened to the show before. Believe it or not, there are people that come onto the show that have never heard it. Can you imagine that?
I can't imagine it, no.
You just think that everybody listens to this show,
They
but
do,
apparently
yeah.
not.
Yeah.
I know. I'm as surprised as you are. But we've got 11 random questions for you. They're not random. They're written down in front of me. But we'll start off with the same one, which we always do, which is, what is your favourite ice cream?
It's actually a really difficult question because I have an ice cream machine and I make excellent ice cream.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I really I do a sweet smoked paprika caramel flavour, which is amazing.
And we kind of got spicy ice cream.
Yeah, spicy ice cream.
I've never heard of spicy ice cream.
Oh, it's very nice. Very nice.
Okay.
I also, speaking of spicy ice creams, black pepper is a good flavour as well.
Wow.
And then when you serve it up, we just put a little sprinkle of sea salt on the top. It's beautiful.
Never really, literally salivating at the mouth. But you never really think about spices within ice cream.
I know, but then you would put cinnamon in if you were having, a cinnamony ice cream, wouldn't you? You get Biscoff flavour. Those are spices. Yeah. They're just spices that we use in different ways typically.
Okay. Yeah. Do you know what? In all the years we've been doing this, I think that's the most interesting answer anyone's ever given, because normally it's vanilla.
Yeah. But vanilla is very good, but you have to get good vanilla. You can't just buy rubbish vanilla.
No. The worst vanilla is the Neapolitan vanilla.
Ugh.
Oh my word. Just all three of those flavours are horrific.
Dreadful. Yeah.
I don't know why why can they not make a good Neapolitan? Chocolate ice cream's good, vanilla ice cream's good. Yeah. I don't like strawberry particularly, but a good strawberry ice cream would be okay.
Yeah, that would be fine.
But for whatever reason, when they put all three of those together in a cheap tub, it's pretty
cheap.
Awful.
That's the reason, isn't it? It's cheap. It's ultra processed and it's not good quality.
Are you tidy or messy?
I am untidy in most areas of my life, but there are some parts where I'm really tidy. So my dance floor wardrobe is quite tidy, if a little overstuffed. And I keep my cookware very tidy, and my books are always neat and tidy.
Okay. Now, we were discussing, you have a lovely child called Wilfie, don't you?
Yes.
Okay. And he has the ability of speed reading.
Yeah, yes, you've seen him speed read.
I've seen him. Yeah, he was in the studio for an hour and he got through a book.
Yes.
And it wasn't a small book.
No.
Do you have the same ability of speed reading?
Not to that extent. No.
I mean, it was quite incredible.
Yeah, he just devours them.
Yeah. So does he have billions of books then, or do you just kind
of loads? And he does not keep his books tidy.
No,
and it sort of sets my teeth on edge and makes me twitch because
literally your shoulders just gone up in tension.
Oh yeah, they're all over the floor. The spines are all broken. The pages are all folded. Oh dear. Yeah, you can tell when he's had a book in his hands for 5 minutes, whereas mine look like they've never been read, even though they all have.
Okay. Love or hate roller coasters?
I've never been on a roller coaster.
Really?
Really?
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, you've got to do it.
Well, it's a very expensive day out, and all you hear about really is how long people queue for, and I think I'm not spending hundreds of pounds to stand in queues.
Do you know what the best day to go to Alton Towers is the May Bank holiday.
Okay.
And the reason for it is it's known as Traveller Day.
Okay.
And all the travellers go.
Okay.
And there are hundreds of them all in the park, but therefore everybody else avoids it. And we've been there once. We didn't know it was going to be what's known as Travel a Day.
Yeah.
There were no queues.
Wow.
At all.
Oh, so even though loads of people go, it's not as many as usual?
Absolutely. Because there are hundreds of the travellers that go, but it's normally tens of thousands of people that go, you see. So
that's a top tip.
It was, Maybank Holiday in Alton Towers is known as Traveller Day. I believe that's the right day for it. So
isn't there something else important happening around the Maybank Holiday weekend?
I believe that might be the Chill Out Champs, yes. Do that one instead.
Okay, yes,
Very good point. But you should go on a roller coaster. They're great. Go on the right roller coasters. They're brilliant.
Okay.
They really are.
Tell me which ones exactly.
Yeah, Thorpe Park or Alton Towers are the best two in the UK, I would suggest. Right, do you hang your toilet roll over the top or behind the back? Is it like a waterfall or like a mullet?
Over the top.
You're over the top. Why is it over the top for you?
Because that's the right way to do it.
It is the right way to do it. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It's there's no other discussion.
No.
Very good. Do you eat your chocolate from the fridge or from the cupboard?
Both.
Both? Okay, so that's an unusual answer. People are normally one or the other.
Well...
So tell me why both?
Because I wouldn't normally be organised enough to put my chocolate in the fridge.
Okay.
But if somebody offered me some chocolate, I would just eat it.
So you will not turn it down just because it's been in the cupboard?
No, I wouldn't turn it down because it's been in the cupboard or in the fridge.
See, I love it cold.
Yeah.
You know, like I have a Kit Kat in the car right now.
Ooh.
And I've left it in the car because I know by the time I get back out there, it's pretty cold today.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really cold. But it was in the cupboard.
Yeah.
But now it's going to be cold and crunchy and I can bite into it. Although the flavours aren't as good when it's cold.
No, because the sweetness, you find this when you're making ice cream as well, the ability to sense the sweetness decreases as the temperature drops.
Right. So that's the official scientific answer for it.
I don't know how scientific I'm being there, but yes, that is a thing.
You are the expert in the room right now, and that's all that matters. Do you make your bed in the morning?
Not usually. I prefer to leave the duvet kind of folded back so it kind of airs a little bit.
Okay, but that's still making it.
I guess so.
That is still making it.
Yeah.
So you've made it to the point where you've aired the bed out.
Yeah,
it's not just a crumpled mess on there.
No, I mean sometimes it is. It depends. It depends whether I'm awoken by, Mum, can you? In which case, then I probably do just crawl out.
Okay. And the follow-up question to it is always, apart from the pillows, do you have any extra cushions on your bed?
No.
Oh, I like you even more now.
Where do you put them? Well,
on the floor.
Well, you know what we said about me being untidy?
Yeah.
No. I don't need another excuse to be untidy.
I completely agree. We have an extra 6 cushions on our bed.
That's crazy.
And every night they just get chucked on the floor. Every morning they get put back on the bed.
Wow.
But did have the other day, Zoe was actually last out of bed the other day, and she went to put the cushions on the bed, but she put them all in the wrong order, and I couldn't have that. And she just looked at me and she went, I know. And then she did rearrange them, so I was quite pleased with that. What's your favourite breakfast?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't normally eat breakfast, but...
No, I know, because I was going to give you... here's a phrase for you. I was going to give you a banana the other day.
In the morning.
Fanar.
My favourite breakfast, maybe like Christmas Day breakfast. You're only allowed this once a year because it starts with Bucks Fizz and moves on to croissants with apricot jam. But if I was having breakfast because I was doing something important, I would probably have a salad and some hummus.
A salad and hummus for breakfast? I've never heard of that before.
It just sets you up. It's full of goodness.
Salad and hummus?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I love salads, I love hummus, but I can't think of it for breakfast.
Oh, yeah. Give it a try.
Okay, I'll have a look at that. I'm currently into my yoghurt and granola and fruit and stuff.
Yeah. Yoghurt would be nice.
That's good.
Yeah.
But no, so you basically want to get drunk and eat French food?
I mean, is there anything worse?
Sounds like a good thing to do.
Yeah, it's a great way to start the day.
If you had to do it, what would be your go-to karaoke song?
Probably something really cheesy like Summer Nights from Greece.
Yeah, and how would that sound?
Awful.
Okay.
I won't do it because I imagine you want listeners back next week.
Well, I don't know.
No, we're not doing that.
And you're not going to give us Summer Loving, Have Me Some Fun?
No.
Okay, fair enough. So I still do the thing, and it still amuses me. We can hear Charlotte's dogs in the background.
Yeah.
It still amuses me that sometimes when somebody says, how are you doing? And I'm like, I will survive. I mean, at first I was petrified. but I kept on thinking, I can't live without you by my side. I go on down that line, quoting the lyrics for quite some time before eventually
people realise.
They have no idea that I'm doing it most of the time.
Really?
Yeah, they just look at me blankly, but that, I think, happens quite naturally anyway.
Well, going back to breakfast, there was a Weetabix advert, wasn't there? As long as I have Weetabix, I know I'll stay alive.
Okay.
So maybe you could throw that one in.
Were you scared and petrified at the same time?
Well, maybe.
Afraid and petrified.
Afraid.
Yeah. First you were afraid and then you were petrified.
Yeah.
I mean, I kept thinking I could never live without you by my side, but I mean, for so
all
many
those
nights.
Times, thinking how you did me wrong.
Do you know what? I grew strong, though. I did.
Did you learn how to get along?
I did. How did you know that? I mean, I'm back, from outer space.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I kept thinking, that look upon your face. There we go. Favourite TV programme or film?
Oh, I love The Big Bang Theory.
Oh, are you another Big Bang? Have we spoken about this before?
I don't think so.
I love The Big Bang Theory. Yeah. No, it's how many times have you watched it?
Probably twice the whole way through. Because I didn't discover it first off, but my brother gave me the box set one Christmas when we were on about, I don't know, series 6 or something. And so now, if I watch The Big Bang Theory, it really makes it feel like Christmas.
I love The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
I think...
who's your favourite character?
Who's my favourite character? Oh, am I going Sheldon or Leonard or Penny? I love all of them, if I'm honest with you. What about yourself?
I think I identify a lot with Sheldon. Not with there being a genius part, but liking things just so, he has his place on the sofa where it's not too far from the window or the door and he's got the perfect angle. I have my place on the sofa. And, I have, as we were talking about making tea earlier, I like to make it in my pot, on my tray, with my particular milk jug, in a certain mug. Yeah. And so I quite like a bit of routine like that.
Weird question for you. Do you have a favourite teaspoon?
Yes, I do.
It's the weirdest question of the day, I think.
I do. I have several of them, which is quite nice. But there are other teaspoons. This kind of odds and ends of teaspoons that are left over from university days. They are my non-favourite teaspoons, and then I have the actual nice teaspoons.
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it?
And but it's important.
Yeah.
And if you hear Heston Blumenthal talking about cutlery, the cutlery that we use is really important to our eating experience.
Okay.
So it does matter.
Yeah, I literally have certain teaspoons that I have to use when I make my coffee. I think it's because of the actual size.
The size. That's interesting.
It's the right size for the right amount of coffee that I'm putting into it.
And I have ice cream sundae spoons, which I don't use for ice cream sundaes very often, but because their handle is so long, they're good for getting to the bottom of a jar.
Okay,
so that And
going back to The Big Bang Theory very quickly, have you watched Young Sheldon?
I watched a couple, but I couldn't quite get into it. And
honestly, 7 seasons made me cry. I love Young Sheldon more than Big Bang Theory.
Really? Okay, I need to persevere then.
You have to watch Young Sheldon. It is absolutely incredible.
All right then, I will do that.
Haven't got into the George and Mandy's First Wedding, which is a spin-off of Young Sheldon.
Oh,
yet.
really?
Yeah, it's another spin-off after that as well. Okay. Anyway, we must move on because Charlotte's up in a few minutes. If you came back in your next life as an animal, which one would you be and why?
I would be a butterfly.
Oh, what a great answer.
Because you get to spend the first part of your life as a caterpillar eating everything you can see, and then you are reborn beautiful and you get to flit about in the sunshine visiting flowers all the time.
What an amazing answer that is.
Thank you.
That's a lovely
I love butterflies.
Very good. And your last question, Laura Ansbro, editor, most important editor of the year, and that is, where is your happy place?
I think you know the answer. It's the dance floor.
The dance floor, okay.
And particularly, really? Yeah. And I always, my ultimate happy, safe place is coming to your studio. 9:30 every Wednesday.
Oh, that's a nice thing to think about. So I know when you're coming in that you're feeling happy and
always,
safe.
yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. Remind everybody, if they did want to get in contact with you regarding editing, how they could do it, Laura.
Find me on LinkedIn, Laura Ansbro. Look me up and drop me a DM.
Brilliant. Charlotte's up next. We're playing Taste by Sabrina Carpenter. Very quickly, why?
Because I love Sabrina Carpenter. She's really cool.
That is a great answer. Have a fantastic week, and I will see you again next Thursday.
An impression, 5 feet to be exact. You're wondering why I have his clothes when